I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Hey folks, this is Go Right with Peter Boykin, hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. Before we go into it, just to let you know, please help if you can and join our Patreon. It's patreon.com/Peter Boykin. And share this and hit the like notification and help us get the word out. I'm about to have a conversation with my good friend Joel, and we'll probably have him on a lot. We don't show his face because of his job and everything. He really works hard, but he doesn't show his face. But we're going to talk about a lot of different various subjects and what's going on every day. And it's probably going to be a staple of our show, our talks. So hope you listen. This one's probably going to be a long one. So bring your popcorn. Enjoy. Here we go. Folks, I'm talking to my friend Joel. And we're talking about Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is a nutcase. You've seen her on videos. She doesn't even know how to speak, but it's not something new. It's something that's been going on for a long time. So Joel was telling me about what's going on right now in the House. Now, what was going on, Joel?
Yeah, now Pelosi's deciding to hold on to the papers and not pass the impeachment on to the Senate because she wants provisions to make sure that this goes through as
what does she think? Who she thinks she is? Elizabeth Warren wanting all that provisions and stuff. I mean, come on. She can't. She doesn't have anything. Her job now is to write it up and pass it. That's it. Just write it, pass it. It's out of her hands. She should be talking to Schumer now or whatever. You know, but they got nothing. Like I said, they already had one Democrat that just said bye-bye. He talked to Trump from New Jersey, said, Democrat Party's not for me, I'm coming over. And there was at least, I think, 5 other Democrats that voted nay. So they don't even have who they have. I mean, it's stupid. So she knows it. She knows it's a waste of time.
Well, this, like I was saying earlier, this has nothing to do with the impeachment. It never did. That's why it kept on changing. It's a twofold thing. They wanted Trump out, of course. We all know that. They've been doing it since the beginning. Since Trump got into office, they've been trying to get him out. That has nothing to do with what this is going on. We found out since the time that this has started, we found out that Pelosi's son is right in there, a partner with Biden's son. So he is part of Burisma. Then we find out the Schiff and his partners all have a hand in Burisma. This has everything to do with Burisma. The reason why she's not letting this go through is because she knows it's going to lead down the path for people to find out that she has a dirty hand in Burisma.
Yeah.
And they don't want that. All they wanted, that's why she's saying, I want this to just go through and them to impeach him. She doesn't want any discovery. She wants no discovery. She wants them to be as blind as the Democrats and just let this fly through. And it's not going to work. Republicans do not look at things blindly. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. Pelosi's the one like, hey, let's go ahead and sign this healthcare law, Obamacare, and the law, and then we'll read it afterwards. So I pulled up Politico, and they said Pelosi threatens to delay the Senate impeachment trial, which I can't figure out how the hell she delays it, considering she's got nothing to do with the Senate. She needs to pass it up. It's not her, Says Speaker Pelosi refused to comment Wednesday into delivering articles of impeachment to the Senate, citing concerns about an unfair trial on removing President Donald Trump from office. Like, she's talking about concerns of unfair trial when they didn't allow the Republicans to have any say-so at all in the Congress. At all. And they had not one Republican who stated that they thought Donald Trump should get impeached. And that really completely goes against, because remember, was it Nixon that was impeached or whatever, Bill Clinton who was impeached? They actually had people from the opposite party, both sides of the parties, who did agree to the fact that they did wrong. Now, Bill Clinton was later acquitted and freed, because really what he did is he lied because he cheated on his wife. Who the hell wants to sleep with Hillary anyway? So they realized that really Bill Clinton didn't get, as much as people don't like Bill Clinton didn't do anything that was against his presidency to be impeached. That's why he never left office. But also straightened up Bill Clinton, because Bill Clinton actually started working with Republicans and actually got some stuff done. I give him that. The evil pair on that really is honestly Hillary. She's the evil one. Bill Clinton, I still think he's lovable. Yeah, he did his things. He's got a lot of demons. Like raping Juanita Broderick, but like even Juanita said, he did come back and apologize to her about what he did in the past. It doesn't change the fact, but at least he is apologetic. At least he did. But when I don't see Bill Clinton killing people, I see Hillary Clinton killing people.
I look at it. Bill Clinton, was an animal. But basically, Bill, the Impeachable Act was the fact that if you cannot trust Bill with what he says about who he slept with, then how can you trust him with the government?
Yeah. But who can you trust nowadays? Well, at least we know Donald Trump said he slept with everybody. He slept, with lots of different people. We've got our First Lady. They're not trying to hide the fact that our First Lady, Melania Trump, used to do nude shoots, and stuff like that. They showed pictures, and it's like, she's hot. She's a hot woman. I don't mind seeing older hot pictures of Melania Trump. I definitely don't want to see older they ain't going to be hot. Older pictures of Michelle. Oh, that's right. We did see older pictures of Michelle when she was a dude, right?
Well, we definitely don't want to see older pictures of Hillary. But anyway, basically, I just see this move right now. The Democrats are running scared. I think it was a hasty move. I guess from what I heard, our favorite team of four.
The four horse bitches of the apocalypse.
Were just making comments as I was listening to the news earlier, and we have the right, we have the left that was cheering the news media that were cheering that President Trump was impeached.
Oh yeah, Politico, Politico.
Impeachment really works.
Yeah,
but the fact that they say they're biased, but they're cheering about the president's impeachment.
Well, they just put on, Politico was tweeting about it. Married impeachment, and the so and so this, and then
she took it down.
Was it no? That was Washington Post you're talking about, but I was talking about Politico did it too.
Right.
Well, she probably took it down because. Basically, people gave out her telephone number and said to give her a call and let her know. These people are unhinged. They are supposed to be journalists. That even people go, well, okay, if we're supposed to be journalists, how come people on Fox News are all for Trump? Look at Hannity. Hannity says, I'm not a journalist. I'm a commenter. I am an opinion. They say Fox News is opinion news, opinionated news. Now, CNN still tries to state that they're a news agency, a reputable news agency. But when in reality, they are an opinion station. And that's the problem. So many of these stations still try to say that they're the news. Yes, Fox News, but it's opinionated news. And
Right.
I think they talk about, oh, they had to sue, blah, blah, blah. But they are opinionated dudes. They're commentators about the news. Yes, they are for Trump. So a lot of them. But there's also some people, especially if you turn on the weekend, that are not for Trump. There's some days where I realize I'm looking, I'm like, am I listening to Fox News? What the hell are they talking about? You know, and you know, you get that Shepherd dude during the day, but nobody cared about him, really. He finally quit. You got, George Wallace or whatever, Chris Wallace, that's it, Chris Wallace, and he's talking mess, you know, how Donald Trump's doing bad to the media. Well, the media is doing bad to Donald Trump. I think that people are still upset that they don't have those daily press conferences anymore. Well, I like the fact that Donald Trump goes out near that helicopter and it's really loud and he makes those people stand outside.
Right.
And I always joke, I said, if I was Donald Trump, I would open the window of my house and go, "Get off my lawn! Get off my lawn!"
The bottom line here is that this whole thing. I think we're witnessing the destruction of the Democrat Party right here. Number one, there's some stronghold Democrats. We see them every day on Facebook. Putting us down, and it's illogical, totally illogical. They're backing up the what's going on in impeachment and everything else. All these Democrats that are backing them up and saying, you're just bad. You're a Russian bot. Did they ever? How far are they behind? When we found out it's been the Democrat Party that was working with Russia, not the Republican Party. So these people are so far behind us. They're so far behind, and they're so crazy. I always use the word psychopathic or psychotic, because that's exactly what they are. And we're not looking for, a lot of people are switching, as you can see, Peter. A lot of people are switching from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party. Those people are the sociopaths, the ones that.
And if they ain't switching automatically to the Republican Party, there's a whole lot of people that are switching to independents or libertarians, a lot of gays, because they don't feel comfortable yet turning to the Republican Party. They say that they are libertarians, so they can get away and still go into the gay community and get away with saying they're libertarians. Now, I see that a lot, but they really are still gays for Trump, at the end of the day. And if that gets them halfway out of the political closet, I'm okay with that. But a lot of people got to move to the right, and that's the reason why I'm doing the whole hashtag Go Right. I'm trying to get people to move to the right, and we've got to get things passed. We got to get Donald Trump to do something about people getting fired for political reasons. That needs to be a federal law. Honestly, people need to be going out here and protesting. It made no sense that we had these 600 people doing these, and I can't figure out how they do these protests. Because when I go and do these rallies, especially in D.C., I have to put out a permit months in advance to get the location and get everything set up. And somehow these people always at the drop of a hat are able to show up at Lafayette Square and actually have a big rally and everything. It's like they get things done at the last minute.
Well, I think it's simple, Peter. I think
it's money. A lot of it's money.
The Democrat Party inherited the cabal, the people who are in control, the real ones that are in control, the ones that did this thing against President Trump, because he's taking them out. Yep. He's removing them from power, and they don't like that. And so they, as we see all the time, they speak to certain people and they speak to and it's this cabal that can get these things done right away. We have to go through the legal way of doing it, and we have still a lot of legal things you see here in California, where I'm from. You try and find a police department or a police person that is a Republican or somebody who understands. They don't. When I contacted you about the one town, that the police chief, said, hey, there's not a Republican within 1,200 square miles from here. We don't want him here. Tell him to stay out. That's how California is, and that's how the country's going to go if Republicans do not wake up and start doing what the Democrat Party is doing. They have the cabal. They have their.
They got money. The Republican Party has money,
and they're getting things done.
We've
got to stop that.
The Republican money,
that boost that they do, but we can stop it.
Donald Trump, Republican Party, they have money. People are donating. Republicans are donating. It's $5, $10, $15, $30, and that's great that they're donating. It does cost money to do things and have these rallies and things, and they show up in giant fold for these rallies, so it's not like they can't come out. So that really kind of eliminates the whole excuse of, well, I got to work. Well, if you got to work, okay, I understand that, but you showed up at a Trump rally, which was in the middle of the week, so why can't you go to a rally? Why can't you do that? It doesn't make any sense that I live in Greensboro and we don't have as many people come to the Guilford County Republican Party, but if Donald Trump tomorrow had a rally here, there would be shit tons of people coming. So I'm like, where are these people? Why aren't these people showing up at the GOP? If, they call it the silent majority, but if we had just a fraction of those people that show up at those rallies actually volunteering to get votes and door to door and do what they can, if we could get that same enthusiasm and getting out there, the enthusiasm that Donald Trump has of Republicans and people coming to watch him speak is the everyday enthusiasm that the Democratic Party has, because the liberalism, or leftism or whatever, is a disease, and it's all about fighting for what they want. Well, honestly, if there's any little thing that the GOP or the Republicans can learn, it's basically fight. Fight, for damn it, fight. And the Republican Party and the Trump campaign needs to actually spend a little money on grassroots efforts. I don't understand why they're not. What gets me is they need to understand that grassroots, as much as a Turning Point is so great and everything like that, that's not exactly grassroots anymore. That's mainstream. CPAC was supposed to be Conservative Political Action Committee, which was what they said in their whole thing was CPAC was supposed to be for the support of grassroots and to not be a part and to go against mainstream conservatives. Okay, and mainstream conservative, because they have to go to grassroots level. The problem is CPAC has now became, and I love CPAC, but they've become a mainstream thing, and then they aren't really recognizing enough grassroots. They're only recognizing the big people on Fox News and stuff like that. That's the problem we're dealing with, is we're not reaching out to the actual people who are grassroots. Like me and you and Brandon Straka and every people like that are actually really doing things. And we're forgetting about what the Proud Boys are doing. We're forgetting that Roger Stone is going through what he's having to go through. We're forgetting about Mike Flynn. We're forgetting about all of that because it's just the news cycle that we go so quickly through the news cycle. Whatever talking points that they're giving us for the day, we move that, and then we've got to do the impeachment and everything. But we're not getting out there and protesting. We're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're not getting the vote out. We're not getting the protest. We're not showing up at things. We need to show up at things that liberals go to. We need to show our base. We need to get out there. I don't know what the hell's going on. I can't do it all myself. I'm poor, like I tell people. I don't have it, but I'm going to do as much as I can. I humanly, Dan, and I've risked my jobs and my livelihood for what I do, and I'll still probably do it. But I need other people to show up. It doesn't make any sense 63 million people voted for Donald Trump, yet there's 1,000 of us maybe online. It just doesn't make any sense. And it's not just because they squish our voice; it's because people are lazy.
Well, there's been a lot of change, and you have to agree. There's been a lot of change since President Trump became president, because during the time President Trump, he had no support in the House or the Senate. He had
a lot of never-Trumpers, a lot of never-Trumpers.
Because of all what has gone on. Every Republican, there might be a few in there still, deep state, of course, we always have deep state.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I've been been very proud of what our Republican people are doing, especially ones who had such an, look at Lindsey Graham. I mean, Lindsey Graham has every reason to be against
Lindsey.
Trump.
And what gets me is now some people are trying to attack Lindsey because they found some pictures of him with what was it, McCain or whatever over there, and I don't know, Ukraine or something. I don't know. And then they're saying that he's not doing enough. He's not doing quite enough or whatever. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like Donald Trump's #1 ally. I don't get it. What the hell are they? What are they doing? It's like the right wants to continuously attack themselves. But we need to be going after here, like the rest of this thing says. It says, senior Democrat aide said the House was very unlikely to take the steps necessary to send the articles to the Senate until at least early January, a delay of at least 2 weeks and perhaps longer. He says, so far we haven't seen anything that looks fair to us. Pelosi told reporters at a news conference moments after the House charged Trump with abuse of power and obstructing congressional investigations. That would have been our intention, but we'll see what happens over there. But basically they're saying they're uncertain about the impeachment timetable and to send the House to the Senate, lurching towards a potential institutional crisis. So,
well, don't you find it very strange that she said there was no time to get this done, but now she has all the time in the world?
Yeah. We have to get this done because they were trying to get it done before Christmas, so they could go ahead and count it during Christmas.
So why isn't he out now if they were so? No, they don't have anything, Peter. Like I said, this has to do with Burisma. It has nothing to do with anything else. Trump was getting too close. The minute he said Biden and Burisma, both Schiff and Pelosi shit their pants. They just went absolutely
They don't
crazy
realize
because they knew this was going to lead down a path to them, and they don't want anything.
Well, neither of them are presidents. They need to actually listen to Hillary. They need to listen to Hillary, I guess, on this because none of them are presidents. They don't know what the president has access to. The president pretty much has access to everything he can get his hands on. He can declassify anything he needs. He can read pretty much anything he needs because he is the president. So he's probably spending this whole time getting as much dirt on them as possible. And if he doesn't get them during his presidency, he's damn well going to get them afterwards. Because if anything, he'll create Trump media and it'll be nothing but attacking them constantly.
Well, I believe, you are correct. You are correct. The only thing that I see, it'd be nice if the Republican government helped, set up these things. But, basically, it is up to the people. And what you had just mentioned about people not showing up and stuff, and I have jobs and everything. Well, they're fine showing up to a Trump rally. You find hundreds of thousands at a Trump rally, but yet they don't have time. This impeachment thing, with all the Democrats that were out there supporting this impeachment, we should have had 2 for every Democrat that was out there to show them, you think this is how our United States is going, but it's not. Because we are here and we're, we are what the epitome of what America is all about. We're the patriots. We're the people who believe in this country. And so, if you believe in this country as much, then you have all the time in the world. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse. We've got to when we see like Pelosi and all these people have got to be voted out. So either we go and find out who all these people are, like Pelosi, Schiff, the famous 4 or 5 or whatever they are. All of them have got to go, and the only way to do that is we find out where they are, which state they're and who's going against them, and then we either support them by people or we support them by little increments of money. If 100,000 people give $5 to each of these candidates going up against these big people, that would blow them out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
The Democrats could never do that. We need to show in this election, this has to be an election to show them we are sick and tired and it's over.
This impeachment shouldn't even got there. I mean, I shared it from the Washington Times, and it was back from, I think it was back from September 25th, where the Justice Department cleared Trump of wrongdoing on the Ukraine call. The transcript of Trump's Ukraine call reveals no quid pro quo. But that's the number one thing that they're trying to say, that Donald Trump tried to get another foreign entity to be involved in our election, to go against someone who he's going against. And like I've also said, my other half, he's the one that told me, he's like, actually that's incorrect, because Joe Biden is not running against Donald Trump right now. Donald Trump is not running against any particular Democrat right now. He has no opponent right now. He's not at this stage. It's the primary. His opponent would be if somebody other Republican would run for office. Then he'd have to go, against that person. And I look at this. Everybody loves March Madness, and there's one side of the scale is now all the way up. Let's say Duke. Duke is the winner on one side. That's Trump, okay? The other side is still trying to compete against each other through the brackets. So at this time, Joe Biden is not the nominee. So Donald Trump's not going after a political opponent. He's going after somebody who happens to have done something incorrect. He could go after anybody. In this case, you could say, well, he can't go against Hillary. He can't go against. So I just start running for office, and I can't. You can't get in trouble. I mean, if you commit a crime, you all of a sudden can't. You get a pass. You got to get out of jail free. It's bullcrap. Joe Biden obviously did what he did. He said it on video. I've shown the video. It's like they said, it's no different than when basically. That famous on the mic, hot mic, where Barack Obama said when he was running, he said it to the then president, he says, tell Vladimir, I'll have more power to do things, missile, whatever it is, when I'm after the election. Which was in a way of saying, if you tell Vladimir Putin to leave my election alone, leave me alone, if I get reelected, then I'll give up some of the stuff. I'll be nicer to Russia, which is very much quid pro quo right there. And but only the liberals, only the left, have decided that if they can commit a crime and somehow pin it on the Republican, it doesn't make any sense. So pin Trump. I always send people, well, what has Trump done? I send them to MAGAPill.com, best website ever, because it tells you exactly what Donald Trump has done. But that first impeachment thing that they want, article impeachment, is bullcrap, because they spent, 2-3 years with this whole Russiagate? I got a whole book on it, and which is not even complete, but I mean, it's a whole book on Russiagate, and they found nothing. They found nothing. There's no conspiracy. He didn't get anybody to conspire. This is just in their own. It's their own little Democrat Red Scare that somehow the communists, blah blah blah. Even though they act like the communists, the real thing they need to be going on. And who the hell's paying for these Antifa people to show up everywhere? That's what they need to really look into. But that eliminates. Soros, and and Soros ain't paying them proper. So, if you're going to get paid, pay your goons, you need to pay your goons. But, so you've got that first article is bullcrap. It's null and void. And the second one is they're saying somehow he's abusing his power when actually he's doing what the Constitution allows him. The Constitution allows Donald Trump as the executive branch, and he is the executive branch, when he has a problem with another branch of government, say judicial or legislative, in this case it's legislative, they're demanding paperwork from him, and he doesn't believe he has to give that paperwork up because he has every right not to. And just like when you're in a trial, you don't have to give up evidence that would, was that plead the fifth kind of crap? You don't have to give up evidence that's going to implement you, or they could use in a wrong sense. And Donald Trump has given more things to them than most people would. He gave them a transcript. He gave them the call. He gave them all sorts of stuff without them asking. But they're not giving them what they want. They're not giving them exactly, and they're not giving them fast enough. So what did he do? Under the Constitution, he went to the judicial branch. The judicial, like they said, in the Justice Department here, is what said he had nothing to do with it. They reviewed it. But because he's not giving it, they said it right there in the speech the other day that it took them 8 months to get something done. And they can't have a proper trial. They got to hurry this up. And they can't wait for the judicial branch to give that information up. So what they believe is he's obstructing of justice. He's obstructing the Congress. Well, no, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do by the Constitution, and it takes time. When the hell does government ever take 5 seconds to get something done? So he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's actually using the Constitution properly. He's admitting to what he said. He said, do us, the U.S., a favor, and there was no real favor. It's just a word impression, but it just shows the left, as usual. The left are always using grammar. You said something wrong, they catch you in something, and they making it look like they just follow him. God knows they're probably bugging him. Why do you think Donald Trump has to go play golf so much? Because that's probably the only place he can go.
Well, we've spoken about it before, and basically, I have my own view about quid pro quo and all this other stuff. When it has to do with, we don't want Hitler here. We don't want a Hitler, and so another presidential candidate or the president or whatever has to overlook that and let the person get into office. No. It's the same with Snowden and all the other people that have come out and said things against our corrupt government, the corrupt part, the deep state that have done stuff. We want to know. This is our country. This is us. And if they're going to do that kind of stuff, we want to know about it. We want them to pay the price for them doing that. So this is about something that Biden did, and God knows what else is involved in here. We don't know. We need to find out. We need to find out exactly what it is, because you do not use the United States government on your behalf to get your way or get your son, loaded with money. A person that doesn't even know how to do math. You don't do that. And so we don't know that. We've heard that even Biden was tried to murder this guy. Poisoned him. I mean, God knows. I mean, until it's proven, it's
all hearsay.
Conspiracy. But still, if that's true, we've got to know. How far is this deep state? What are they capable of if we let it go? No, these kind of people. Now, if it had to do with some kind of secret service and revealing who they are and getting them in trouble or putting their lives in danger, that is a no-no. Yep. But when it has to do with a person who's running for our president of the United States, that's going to have 4 years to do whatever they want. No, we got to know. We got to know. Yep. And so what Trump did, I see nothing wrong. I don't care what they call it.
Well, they said it like they said it here in.
I don't care what they call it.
They said it here in September. They said it here in September. The Justice Department's criminal division had already investigated President Trump's conversation with the Ukrainian president about Joseph R. Biden and concluded Mr. Trump did not violate campaign finances laws. This is officials announced that Wednesday, September the 25th, a long time ago. And a separate division of the department has also ruled that the administration did not break the law by failing to quickly share a whistleblower's complaint with Congress, saying the matter didn't meet the definition of urgent that would trigger the law. So, there's the first paragraph that says number 1's bullshit, and the second paragraph says number 2 is bullshit. So there's your Article 1 and Article 2 of impeachment are both saying bullshit right there. That didn't happen. Then the department also released the transcript of Mr. Trump's conversation with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, showing the American leader did not actually, American leader did talk about Mr. Biden, the former vice president and current Democratic presidential frontrunner, and his son Hunter Biden. But Mr. Trump did not threaten to withhold military aid as some have alleged. I mean, it's right there. And there's the transcript. I mean, it's taken a while to pull up. But it's the transcript you can actually read that shows it all. And it's the whole conversation. It's unclassified conversation. Here it is for anybody to read. And it says, you know, congratulations on your victory. I mean, I'd have to find it down here somewhere. But let's see if I can find it somewhere. I can scroll down here. But, I mean, you can see back and forth exactly what they said, what was unclassified, and it's not made up. It's the transcript. I mean, whatever typing they got, and it's there. I mean, it's.
We've all heard the phone call, Peter. Every one of us that heard what the phone call says, and the difference is the fact that
here it is right here. In the paragraph leading up, the president says, "Good, because I hear you are a prosecutor. I hear you had a prosecutor who was very good, and he was shut down, and that's really unfair." A lot of people are talking about that. The way they shut your very good prosecutor down, and you had some very bad people involved. Mr. Giuliani is a highly respected man. He was the mayor of New York City, a great mayor, and you can hear Donald Trump's voice in your head when you read this. And I would like him to call you. I will ask him to call you along with the Attorney General. Rudy very much knows what's happening, and he is a very capable guy. If you could speak to him, that would be great. The former ambassador from the United States, the woman, was bad news, and the people she was dealing with in the Ukraine were bad news. So I just want to let you know that. The other thing, there's a lot of talk about Biden's son, that Biden stopped the prosecution, and a lot of people want to find out about that. So, whatever you can do with the Attorney General would be great. Biden. And
he mentioned the Attorney General.
Yeah, he said Biden went.
Tell it to Rudy.
So I don't even read it.
General, the person that deals with this stuff.
Yeah, he said Biden went around bragging that he stopped the prosecution. So if you can look into it, it sounds horrible to me. He didn't even say, "Do me a favor." I don't even see that part.
No, it's not. The Democrats, they just read into it the way they
even
want
Donald
to.
Trump's gotten confused about what was said, because he was like, "I didn't say I said do us a favor." Like, it's like, so I mean, reading the transcript right there is like, it's like. And then the other president said, "I wanted to tell you about the prosecutor. First of all, I understand and I'm knowledgeable about the situation. Since we have won the absolute majority in our parliament, the next prosecutor general will be 100% my person, my candidate, who will be approved by the parliament and will start as a new prosecutor in September. He or she will look into the situation specifically to the company that you mentioned in this issue. The issue of the investigation of the case is actually the issue of making sure to restore the honesty, so we'll take part of that and we'll work on the investigation of the case. On top of that, I would kindly ask you if you have any additional information that you can provide to us. It would be very helpful for the investigation to make sure that we administer justice in our country with regard to the ambassador to the United States from Ukraine. As far as I recall, her name was Ivanovich. It was great that you were the first one who told me that she was a bad ambassador, because I agree with you 100%. Her attitude towards me was far from the best, as she admired the previous president and she was on his side. She would not accept me as new president well enough. The president said, "Well, she's going to go through some things. I will have Mr. Giuliani give you a call, and I am also going to have the Attorney General Barr call, and we will get to the bottom of it. I'm sure you will figure it out. I heard the prosecutor was treated very badly, and he was very fair prosecutor, so good luck with everything. Your economy is going to get better and better, I predict. You have a lot of assets. It's a great country. I have many Ukrainian friends. They're incredible people." And then it's just back and forth. This is normal conversation with diplomacy, basically saying, hey, I saw what your previous, I had something that, I heard about your previous administration, and you had some bad actors, and I'm just letting you know. And if I think Donald Trump would like to hear from the Ukrainian president, if he knew that there were some bad actors in the White House that were talking crap about him. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense. It's not, but the Democrats' vision is that if any country talks to us at all, any country talks to us at all, somehow they're influencing our presidency, our president. So if I guess if Donald Trump goes and hangs out with other people of other countries at the UN, and one of them says, "Beautiful weather you having. I love Mount Rushmore. I love Yosemite Park, but there's not enough trash cans there. I couldn't throw away trash when I was there." And then I guess if Donald Trump goes and now signs a law and says we need more trash cans, Yosemite Park, they're going to say that's foreign influence. But it's stupid. It's ridiculous. The Trump can make up his own mind.
Yeah, there's 3 points here. The 3 points that you brought up. Number one is the fact that Barr was on the phone. Barr was the one he included in the thing. You do not include the Attorney General. You do not include Barr if this is a quid pro quo. Secondly, he knew all those people were on the phone with him. What kind of criminal is going to call the police and tell them to watch them as they rip off the store?
Yep.
You don't do that. It's stupid.
And I'm sure there's a tape. There's a tape of the conversation.
Do that, but Republicans have a little bit more knowledge up in the noggin, and they know what they're doing. And thirdly, switch the thing around, Peter. Switch it around. If this was the Democrats, they would find nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing. So we're the group that thinks logically. If there's something wrong, we can absolutely say, hey, listen, that doesn't sound right. Look, there are people that supported Bush, both Bushes, but there's a lot of Republicans who also did not like what they did. Okay? And we can do that. There has never been a time when Democrats will do that. They will not do that. They will support them no matter what they do. They could do anything, and they will support them. Yeah. And so that's the difference between the Democrat. It's a psychotic mentality.
And then they just drill it into people's head over and over and over again what was supposedly said and when it's not was said. This is a transcript, because there's also probably a video. I'm not a video. There might be a video, but there's definitely is a video, because they do video the White House, and I'm sure there's a tape of this, and I'm sure that's where they got it, because somebody, recorded and then they typed it up, because they keep these recordings, and there's a reason why they keep these recordings, because of this kind of stuff, to keep the president in check. It's not like Donald Trump went to his private golf field with this president and they had this conversation and this was found out. What gets me is this whistleblower, wet whistleblower, and I don't even remember what the hell was going on with the whistleblower now anymore. It was because somebody that was supposedly listening to this conversation, maybe it was an aide who was getting them coffee, God knows what, who half-ass heard this conversation, was in and out, shouldn't even been privy to saying a damn thing about it, came in and half-ass heard a conversation and then went running to somebody going, it's like, I heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from a clairvoyant, and somebody did something,
I still believe
Deep Throat was a real person, but this.
I don't think Schiff can bring a bug into to talk about how it was the quid pro quo.
It's a bug. They've got the White House bug.
They had his office bugged, and they're using.
Well, it is bugged all the time, I mean, they got the
Because that's
transcript,
illegal.
and they're making it all up. They're making all of this up. They got it. They even got me convinced that he said, "Do us a favor," and I'm reading it now. This is really the first time I've read the transcript, and I just read it, and like most of it, I'm going to look for. It's not only a few pages, a 30-minute conversation, so it's not that much. I might actually read the whole damn thing one time on air, but I don't see it. There's nothing. There's nothing here.
There's nothing. No,
it's a giant nothing burger.
Look at it this way, Peter. This is what.
But you can't talk to the liberals. You can't talk to the liberals. There's still these gay leftists or whatever that still think Donald Trump wants to throw us all in jail and kill us. And what did we just have? What did we have the other day here? I'm trying to find it real quick. We had
was appointed what was it? A judge that was appointed by a gay judge that was appointed by.
Yeah, I mean Donald Trump is. I mean, hey, they have the freaking cure for AIDS, I think now. Which I still say is not a gay disease per se. It's everybody disease, but they got the freaking cure for AIDS. Donald Trump in the '80s. They were even if they were
big speech.
If they were even
that we're going to have a cure for it. I mean, why would if he didn't care about? Straight people have it too, but still, there's a cure for it.
Donald Trump has been, and this was ridiculous. Even people who watch Pose, if they watch Pose, it took place in the 80s. They actually talked about Donald Trump in a good light. I can't believe that a gay program actually talked about Donald Trump in a good light, because Donald Trump was good in the 80s. Donald Trump was in Manhattan. Donald Trump spent a lot of his money helping AIDS victims, the gay people, out. When that disease started, he donated a lot to the hospitals to try to at least so at least the gays didn't suffer as much, because Donald Trump was a huge donor back then, and he still is, and he cared about the issue. And people are ridiculous when they try to say he's not. I'm like, what are y'all saying? That's why he is the first president who took office who was pro-gay. He didn't get prodded like Barack Obama. We all know now why Barack Obama didn't want to talk about the gay issue. If his wife really is a tranny, who knows? But
well, even that guy that came up to say that Barack Obama slept with him.
Well, they did say in the book that Barack Obama did admit that he said that he had decided to live a heterosexual lifestyle because a homosexual lifestyle would be too hard for him. So obviously he just showed that he did try to be gay, or he was gay, or whatever, and that's how he is. So Barack Obama is definitely bisexual. At least he said it out of his own mouth, just like he talked about how he was a Muslim, and there's nothing wrong with the president if he was a Muslim. I ain't got no problem with that. The point what I had, even with his birth certificate, the problem I had with that issue, and I've always had that issue, is you've got to be loyal to this country. And he was raised in another country, and he showed that he wasn't loyal to this country. And I'll still remember what Michelle Obama said: I was never proud to be a citizen of the United States until my husband became president.
Well, and the main thing about this whole mix up with what was said on the phone and stuff like this. All you have to do, Peter, is you look at one thing, and it just circumferences everything about this impeachment. You look at the script of what was said on the phone. You see that it's right there. Trump released it. I don't care when he released it. If it was after it was found out or before, he released it. That is what was said. And
he did it right away. So that breaks their number two thing.
We can make up whatever we want. But then when you look at Schiff, and this person who is supposed to be a leader of a lot of people in this nation, Schiff gets on the news and reads off something that in some other language.
Yeah, he made it up. He didn't even read the transcript.
See, transcript.
They read their own transcript. They actually created their own made-up transcript. They forged a document and passed it off as an official White House transcript, and it wasn't even the transcript. It's
But
like
see,
it's like trying to tell me
as the transcript.
It's like
that's the psychopathic part of the Democrat Party.
well, it's like telling me to go watch Star Wars, and I walk in and you're playing Star Trek, but you're telling me it's Star Wars. You know, it's not going to work. You know, it's like giving me a rip-off Superman. You know, giving me Bizarro Superman. That's what pretty much it is. I was like, the Republicans are Superman, you know, and the left are Bizarro Superman. These people don't think right. You know, it's ridiculous. They're giving you fake knowledge, and then the problem is once you put out that fake news, people believe it. The left will believe it, and we give them facts. We give them facts, but they only turn around and give us the facts from their non-factual fake news websites. And then that's why I try to go to different websites. I try to go to Politico and things like that, and I use their own words against them. That's the reason why I talked about the liberal math that I used to prove how many gay Republicans and gays who voted for Donald Trump. I used all liberal math, everything I found. How can they contest that? Because I used their own damn math. You know, I used their own facts against them, facts that they established. That's the reason why we showed the video of Pelosi and Schumer and that fat penguin, fat roly-poly dude. What's his name? Nadler. Like a bad Batman villain. We've showed him. We've showed them talking in the past about Bill Clinton and how it was horrible. And Nancy Pelosi went out there and said, how dare the Republican Party use their hatred against Bill Clinton. They're using their hatred to try to impeach him, and they won't listen to us. And it's so funny because it's exactly what the hell we're trying to say. It's like the Democrats are using their hate and their polarization to try to impeach, Donald Trump. And the problem is that when Bill Clinton got impeached, it's because he really did commit a crime. He really created an impeachable offense. And they did actually try it. There was an actual trial, a real trial. Akina Starr and all them. It was a real trial. And I think both sides actually really had a absolute real trial. It wasn't this kangaroo court that, like they said, you've already made your decision. You get people who come up here on witnesses who are paid and work for the Democratic Party. You pay them to say. They're paid. It's like they're paid actors. So, and then you won't let the Republicans talk at all. It just absolutely makes no sense. But and again, like they said, we joke about it. It's clown world because everything just doesn't make any sense. But they get away with it. But we have to keep calling them out. And then you've got social media won't let us call people out, who squash us down, and then Facebook's telling us that something's fake because some independent, agency says it is, when it's really, if you look at it, if you research the people who are supposedly writing these independent articles, all they're doing is pulling stuff off of liberal websites. They're not researching stuff. It's still their opinion. Well, I don't find anything about Donald Trump not doing this or doing this or so and so. I didn't find anything. Well, you didn't look good enough. Why does everybody attack InfoWars so much? InfoWars is sensational. They probably shouldn't have said some things, with the Sandy Hook situation and stuff like that. But they will look at things that mainstream media won't touch. Look at Hannity. He wanted to talk about the Seth Rich over and over again. And they eventually told him, you can't talk about Seth Rich anymore. And so he had to drop it. You had Judge Janine talking about the radical Islamics. And then somebody who was on, I think, Tucker Carlson's team or something got offended. And then she took off the air. I don't even know if she's back on. I think she is.
Yes. Judge Janine.
Yeah, she was afraid. And then it also trickled down to the fact that she was at a CPAC thing. It was over, I think in another I don't know, for state or country or whatever. And there was a guy who happened to be Proud Boy, and he had a Proud Boy tattoo or something, and it was said that they saw it and they made him cover it up, and then Judge Janine was so afraid that she would lose her job that apparently they took the guy's credentials and made him leave. All because he was a Proud Boy. It's because they're scared. They're scared of being different. And it's probably one of the reasons why I can't get on Fox News and stuff, because I'm not mainstream. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to support InfoWars to a point, alternative media, because alternative media and this podcasts and people like us, we will actually talk about things, and we will address issues. And I'll joke about Michelle Obama might have a penis. Now, do I really believe it? I really don't think it is, but, who knows? But I'm willing to at least joke about it. Who's to know in 20 years from now we find out that she really was? It doesn't matter.
The left has gone too. So, I mean, the only reason why the thing that the Democrats have not grasped the hold of, and until they do, they will never. It'll be 10, 20, 30, maybe not even in our lifetime. There'll be another Democrat president or majority, because they are doing it. Look at President Trump's polls right now. They're going through the roof.
Oh, yeah.
He is higher than Obama was at this time, and Obama won his second term.
So the thing I was looking for is, like, Trump administration pushed for worldwide decriminalization of homosexuality. That's been out there for a while. But yet, I remember this. When they said that, he talked about it at the UN. But then the day after, the leftist gay organizations were still like, Donald Trump is horrible for the gay community, blah, blah, blah. Because what's going on is the Democrats, gays, whatever it is, it's all about, what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me today? It's not about, like people will ask me, well, what is Donald Trump doing for the gay community? And I'll send them to MAGAPill.com, and they're like, but none of those say anything for the gays. I'm like, those are for all Americans. He's doing that for all Americans. Gays, blacks, whites, Asians, what doesn't matter. He's doing that for all of us. I'm sorry he ain't doing something specifically for you that day. I mean, what the hell else do you want? The problem is, we got what we wanted, finally. But now we're ruining it. Well, not we are, but the leftist gay agenda, because they want more money and stuff, they're ruining it by pushing more extreme things, like trying to change our children, as sexes at like young ages before they even hit puberty, just because they think that boy is effeminate. I saw an old tape of me at a birthday party. I was effeminate like crazy. I was a little brat, but I was very, super gay, But that doesn't, thank God my parents didn't give me a sex change. Thank God they didn't think I was a woman and try to make me a little girl instead of boy. I would have been pissed off. I imagine how this stuff, they're sitting there talking about chopping off children's parts. That kid goes through puberty and realizes, what the hell happened? There is such thing as tomboys and feminine guys. Yeah, there's a lot of feminine guys out there, but they like to be a guy. They don't want to be a girl. But that's the insanity of the left that we have to fight against all the time, is just insanity. And I don't know, we just got to keep dealing with it. I've gotten to a point where nothing's going to faze me. I'm just going to fight, and we need to protest. And I'm tired of somebody telling me, well, just give them the when I talked about how we had to counter protest, they're like, well, give them the spotlight. It shows how crazy they are. And I'm like, we already know they're crazy. What they think is, when we don't come and protest against them, when we don't counter protest, they think they can get away with keep protesting. If we actually started showing up and protesting against them, then less of them would show up, because they wouldn't think, they'd know they're not going to get away with it. maybe more media would show up. I'm kind of sick that Fox News and stuff, the mainstream media, doesn't cover these things. They don't cover the Trump rallies. They spent more, like when they went to London, instead of showing the Republicans that they had over there, or the pro-Trump supporters protesting, the pro-Trump supporters protesting in London, they spent almost their whole time showing the Trump baby balloon and the anti-Trump people. It's just very irritating that we only get to see a little bit of the news, and I'm glad that a good friend, who does the news to share, I'm glad he goes out there and he does record on both sides. And I know some of the people on the right don't like him because they think he knows he's two buddies with Antifa and stuff like that. But you know what? He's able to get that access that nobody else can get to. So he has to engage with both sides. And he doesn't really say who he likes and who he doesn't like. I commend him for that. We need more journalists like him.
Yeah, well, the main thing is Republicans just really need to get out and the reason why the President Trump was elected was because we elected him because of the fact that he did not take shit. I mean, if you remember back when McCain was running against Obama, and all the people were saying, if you do not support the Mexicans, the illegal Mexicans, you will never win a presidency again. And so, what did the Republicans do? They went down, they bailed down, they got on their knees and kissed the liberals' asses. And that is what the Republicans are sick and tired of. And for President Trump to come up, and when the Democrats were out there saying, you're a racist, you're a racist, he said, stick your racism. This is not racism. Look it up, see what the meaning is, and shove your racism. And that's what got him elected. Because he was not going to do and kiss their ass because he was called out for something. That's how the Democrats, that's why we've been on defense. Since the 60s, we've been on defense.
Yep.
We've been having to, the Democrats say, oh, you're the slave owners, you're the racists, no, it's you. And we haven't called them out. We've never called them out because we are the people who have the common sense and the decency. Well,
they have secretly stirred.
Unless you get down in the trenches with them and fight it back like our president is doing right now, we are going to lose.
Yeah, I mean the liberals in the media, they quietly stirred the movies, to make the black people upset with us. They've made sure that in school that they get taught a certain way to incite violence, to incite black people to be pissed off at white people and to continue to be pissed off at white people. And it just absolutely makes no sense that here it is, almost 2020, that we still have this horrible race relations. And I thought things were getting better. And then Barack Obama became president.
Before Obama, it was.
Obama became president, and it just went to crap again. And it's so sad that it's just sad, that we had that happen.
Well, we need to keep on this run. Like I said, we need more politicians like we have that are actually digging into the Russiagate and this impeachment stuff. We need to find out the truth, and we need Americans, patriotic, Republican, conservative. It doesn't matter. People who are not liberals. People who are not Democrats, we need them to get out and do their job. Don't go out and bring people that are already voting Republican. You go out and find new people and start educating them on what makes a liberal just not what you want to be. And then you bring them to as I told you before, the midterm, I had spoken to for months and months and months. 23 people that I went down and had them sign up. I had them fill out their application to vote, and I rented a van, and I brought all 23 of those people down to vote, and we had a party afterwards. Now, if every Republican did their job and did that, they weren't voters. They were non-voters. They would have not voted for a while, probably.
Well, I've stated...
And I spoke to them all this time, told them, you guys have really got to understand what's going on here. And 23 new voters that will probably be Republican for a long time, as long as this craziness of the Democrat Party's going on.
Well, that's what I'm trying. That's one thing I'm having to do here.
We would have no problems.
That's one of the things I'm trying to do here in North Carolina. We've got to get more people out to get these voters, and we don't have enough people come to our Republican headquarters. Now we have a little bit more stable Republican headquarters now. I went to it first time I went to the newer one. It's still hidden. It's hidden in the back. We're not front facing as much as we were, but we do have good parking spots, and we do have a good facility now. At least it's stable. But we need to get more stuff, and we are doing some voter drives. We are going to work on the we're still working on more of the Republican voter drives. And the reason why you have to actually hit the Republicans is because when you go out and do voter drives, you have to take whatever, even if they put down that they're registered as a Democrat, you still have to take their application. It's against the law to persuade them against it and stuff. But you got to get people registered. So we follow the rules on that, and that is rules that we have to follow. Democrats might not follow it, but we follow our rules, at least on that, because that is a actual law, a real rule, and we don't break those kinds of rules. Now we can bend some stuff, we can't break them, but I'm going to work hard as much as I can. I'm going to reach out to these Mark Walker and Mark Meadows and Trump himself. I'm going to try to write them all and say I want to help. I want to try to join. Maybe I need a job now. Everybody, a lot of people need a job. Maybe I could get a job with the Trump campaign. But I don't want to compromise what I do now. My podcast and Go Right and what I'm doing. But I want to get us voters here. I want to get us some crowd, and to me also it helps me in the future when I want to run. So I've got to get voters out there. But I've always said it's like a lot of the things that we're not doing is we're not reaching enough to the community. And so I know if I run for office in the future, one of the biggest things that I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to the community. I will set up as many town halls as possible to make sure that I have space and available. If it's schools that I can go to and talk, wherever I can get a space, done. Even if that space involves whoever my opponent having to have equal time. Even if it's that. My whole point is to invite people there to answer their questions, no matter what they are. And just answer their questions as truthful as possible. And to get those talking points, because it's simple. They're going to ask the same things, mostly. You've done a few, you're good, you know what you're supposed to say, but you also just reach out to people, because I think you're a representative and you really got to reach out to everybody. And I think that's where they fail a little bit, is because people only seem to want to reach out to Republican only reaches out to Republicans, stays away from the Democrats. I don't know about the undecideds. And they think that just getting the Republicans out is going to make us win, and that doesn't happen here because we don't have the numbers. But I also have to encourage people to start going out into early voting, because I, for one, like a lot of Republicans, we only really like to vote on Election Day. Well, the problem is we have about 2 weeks worth of voting here in North Carolina, and we really got to get people there at the polls. We got to get and if they feel like that things aren't right at the polls, then they can volunteer as a poll worker. I thought it was funny because when last election I was running for office, and they actually called me and they said, "Hey, you showed interest that you want to be a poll worker. Would you like to come and work and train?" I was like, "I don't think I'm able to, considering I'm running for office." And they kind of like, we laughed, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't think that would work." And I was like, "No," I was like, "maybe in the future." Which is probably what I'll do if I'm not working for the Trump campaign or somebody else. I will probably volunteer to work the polls for Election Day, at least on Election Day, to try to keep things, proper, and to at least report on the election system, say it is legit, and report if there's any kind of issues. But I think the main problem is a lot of people doesn't know how to reach out to the community. And the left will flock to whoever. The sad thing is they will vote. Most of those crazy leftists will vote on anybody who has a D by their name. But there is so many out there that just want somebody to talk to them. And the Democrats don't. Because they have gotten here, especially in these districts, like the guy I was running against, he didn't barely show up at any events. Because he knew he had it in the bag. So he didn't care what people thought because he already knew he was going to win. He figured if I go out there and talk to people, I might screw up and then I'll lose. So I'm just putting it on autopilot. I don't have to compete. I don't have to campaign. And the sad thing is he also was a preacher, so he was using people in his church to be in his campaign. So he's kind of using the pulpit to get volunteers and get money. Which I don't feel like that should be, something you can do. It's kind of like owning a business and then putting your people to work for your campaign, instead of doing your business. It just I don't know. It's just mixing your politics with your business. I just think it's not good. Or mixing your religion.
A couple of things. I mean, before I go, but a couple of things I wanted to say. Basically. People have got to stop thinking about their local area because, here in California, there was one time during the 50s that this was a red state, red. Every actor and actress were Republican, and it's turned. And now Texas, they're talking about Texas turning. If Texas turns, then forget it. You can kiss the Republican, the Republican movement goodbye. And so we can't worry about our own state. We have to go to where these people like the Pelosi's, the shits, and all this stuff, we got to vote them out. And it's either support by personally doing it or it's support in money. Small little charities, small little money. So like $5. If 100,000, like I said, gives $5. That is a lot of money, and it will go a long way. And it could be the win of a thing. You can't think locally anymore. It's the people that are out there, the which are all in California. We have the Swallow Wells. We have the Warren. We have Schiff. We have Pelosi. We have Feinstein. All of these, they all have to go. And for the little people, I mean. It's good, to set up polls and stuff or draw people into talk. But for the little people, it's just something small. From where I live down to the studio, when I go to the studio, there are 5 or 6 different Starbucks I go to. Yeah. And every one of them, I have friends that I've met and talked to and joke with and stuff like this, and it gets into politics, and then I start telling them, well, this is what I know, and this is what I know, and this is what I feel, and this is why the Democrats are dangerous. And if they would do that, if everybody would do that just to 5 people, just bring it down to politics. Find out where they stand. Educate them in what's going on in the world right now, and just picks up 5 at a time. Again, 100,000 with just getting 5 people. We could go a long place, and that's for the little people. The people that say, well, I don't have a whole lot of time. Well, you have people you talk to at work. You have people that you go to church with. You have people that you communicate
Word of mouth.
with.
Word of mouth is still a great thing. There's someone in there, their family members or a kid, if they're Republican or whatever, or, their kid doesn't have a job for the summer, Get their kid to go door to door. Hell, if the Republican Party can't pay, then maybe you can give your kids some, tell them that your allowance is part of it. I mean, put those kids to work. Teach those kids, hey, you want your country to be better, right? When you're about to vote, even if you can't vote, just go out there and help. Volunteer. We have workforce out there. We've got things. Tell them, look, if you go out and do this, you can go out on this date. I mean, hell, you got to bribe your own kids. I guess you bribe your own kids, but we've got people out there who can do stuff. And I know not everybody can do things. I know some people are afraid because they might lose their job. I understand that. Those people donate. But also the ones when we do those donations, and I've said it, is the RNC and stuff need to realize when it's time to cough up some money. They should be helping us do grassroots. I think the RNC should have a program that we should, like if somebody wants to do a rally, then we should be able to write the RNC and go, hey, we would like to get such and such amount to do a rally. Can you help us? Can you do a rental, or can you get us a discount or whatever? We should be doing rallies and stuff. But the problem is the old school thinks that we don't do rallies. We don't. Republican Party doesn't have to protest and do rallies. That's a liberal thing. That's a leftist thing. But no, I mean, why do you think the leftists keep growing on college campuses and stuff? Because they allow those stupid protests to go on. We have to keep protesting.
Anybody that has been on Facebook and has dealt with the Democrat mentality of total ignorance knows that we have to be out there to protest.
We have to.
We have to show that we are a team and that we stick together and that we're strong.
I'm tired of the silent majority.
And that's the bottom line.
We shouldn't be the silent majority. We should be the loud as hell majority. We should be showing these leftists that, no, we're not going to take this anymore, and be the hell out there. And then back each other up, so if somebody does lose their job because somebody on their job or whatever didn't like it, then these people need to stand up and support us. Wait a minute, you lost your job because of what? Oh, hold on. And then they help these people get back on their feet and find them a job. I have that same problem with me. I have so many people, when I ask for some help or I need a job, all I get is negative, comments. And it just doesn't make any sense why I get negative comments considering what I've done, and how hard I've worked. And it really upsets me. But I've gotten to a point where I'm just kind of learned to whatever. There's people out there that are going to be mean no matter what party they are. But it's not going to discourage me from what I do.
Exactly.
All right. Well, weekend's coming up, and we'll see what happens the week coming up.
Exactly. It'll be an exciting. I don't think we'll see anything on the weekend, but we'll.
Crazy Pelosi.
It always starts on Monday. The radio, the airwaves start flying with stuff. I never expect any on the weekend.
News cycles, always something crazy going on.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting. I think the interesting thing to look for will be what Pelosi does. And it's a mistake. This whole thing was a mistake in the beginning. She definitely destroyed the party doing this.
Well, she better enjoy this last year.
We always do stupid things and knee-jerk reactions. And if this has anything to do with charisma, and she would have been better off. Same with Schiff. They would have been better off just letting it go.
She better enjoy this last year of her being Speaker of the House, because she's not going to be Speaker of the House come 2020.
Well, it may come down because if Pelosi, this is the thing, if Pelosi ends it here, and does not push this to the Senate like she promised her constituents, she will be out.
Oh yeah.
Because she watered their mouth. She told them that there was candy right on the other side of this bridge. She told them it was right there. And now every Democrat is cheering impeachment. And if she lets it go, they are going to destroy her.
Yep.
that's fine. I would have never done it. I don't see many Republicans that would do that, because, being in office is like their biggest desire to keep that office spot, and Pelosi and both Pelosi and Schiff, it's going to fall on Pelosi, Schiff, and Nadler. It's going to hit them the hardest.
Oh yeah,
and we just need to get every one of them out.
Notice Maxine Waters been keeping pretty quiet.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard.
I think a lot of people are really fearing for their job right now.
Oh yeah, a lot of these people in the Senate and in the Congress who are actually in districts that went to Donald Trump, who voted nay or actually yes to impeaching Donald Trump. Oh, the people are going to come out in huge force against them. Force against them.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a giant turnover.
They all made mistakes. We heard, last time we heard, a lot of them weren't going to support it because, and I know the strong arm of Nancy is pretty strong, and she can sway people, and there's a lot of really hard Nazi leftists in our government right now. The hard-nosed leftists, and I'm sure there was warnings that they better do they better impeach, and that was a mistake. They should have stuck with, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. She kept saying she didn't want to do it because she didn't think it was going to work, and then she caved to the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Well,
there's always switching parties, too. If the Democrat Party wants to blackball you out of the Democrat Party, there's always the Republican Party. Because if the Democrat Party is going to do that to you, they are no friends of yours.
Yep. That's what I learned. That's why I switched over. That's why I coined somebody else's term. I walked away a long time ago. That's why I went right. Back in Barack Obama, versus Hillary, because, people like me were for Hillary at the time because we didn't know about Hillary. We liked Bill Clinton. And then after Hillary did at that time she actually did a good campaign. But after Barack Obama came out of nowhere and their strong force, forced hand, those Barack Obama supporters started attacking. They started attacking us, the Hillary supporters at the time, and they attacked the Hillary supporters like myself, and they called us racist and everything else. And I was like, wait a minute, but I'm supposed to be on your side. And I was like, no, nobody's going to tell me I'm racist. I was like, wait a minute, my husband is black. What the hell are y'all talking about? I was like, I wanted a woman president because I thought it would be. I was convinced a woman president could be. It was time for a woman president, and then Hillary deserved it because Bill Clinton did good, and then she was kind of his behind the scenes woman, and we thought they would do it well. But then all of a sudden, Barack Obama, because he's black, we got to vote for him. And I was, wait a minute, because he's black, we got to vote for him. That's just as bad as me saying that because Hillary's a woman, we got to vote for her. I was like, you know what? I'm out. I was like, I'm voting Republican. I'm voting for McCain and Palin. Because then I started seeing, especially when I started turning on Saturday Night Live at that time, and I saw how much they were attacking and making fun of Sarah Palin and McCain, and I was like, wait a minute, these people aren't doing anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with these, and especially the fact that I think abortion was a big issue, and they were making fun of her, talking about keeping her babies and stuff, and I was like, wait a minute, I've always been against abortion. I've only stayed with the Democratic Party because I felt like they were better for our gay rights or whatever. But what have they really done for us gay right-wise? You know, I was like, there's such thing as a log cabin Republican and stuff, and I started doing research, and I was like, you know what, I'm done with the Democratic Party. And I left. I went right.
At the end of the Democrat Party of what happened, it wasn't President Trump. It was Bernie Sanders, and you know, I still have a lot of those people that supported Bernie Sanders, and the thing was Bernie Sanders. I looked at Bernie Sanders. His philosophies are bad. He has nothing that he has earned what he's done. I mean, you know, he was jobless and couldn't hold a job until after he was 40, living at home. You know, and you know. So he doesn't know socialism. He doesn't really know socialism at all.
He's
but
never lived in
it. Is that when Hillary rigged the election against Bernie Sanders, that was the split, because there was an equal split between Hillary and Bernie Sanders. That was a close race.
Oh yeah.
Dirtiness of Hillary Clinton absolutely destroyed the Democrat Party. Absolutely destroyed it. Because those people that supported Bernie, which was a great deal. Bernie had a good. I would have been afraid. It was
sadly that Hillary learned all that from, and went completely even more corrupt from what they did to her, what the Barack Obama camp did to her. And then she became a part of that camp, and then she went really dark, and then she learned how to do it. And then she said, screw it, I'm going to become president how Barack Obama became president. I'm going to do this.
A lot of those people, you'd be surprised, Peter, a lot of those people that were, I never, usually the Bernie Sanders people, I never revealed if I was Republican or Democrat. Because at that time, they were totally against Hillary. And Hillary Clinton was a Democrat. Bernie Sanders was a socialist.
Yep.
Okay, so people weren't so mad at socialism. They were mad at the Democrat Party because of her evilness, what she did.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so during the time that I was on the ends with these Bernie people, like I said, I never told them I was a Republican, but I'd listen to them. I'd listen to what they'd have to say, and I'd say, see, this is the Democrat Party. They don't care about anybody. They don't care. And
they just care. Only thing they care about is winning.
Mostly all of those people that I spoke with that were Bernie supporters are now Republican supporters because Bernie was out.
They're Trump supporters.
Because all of a sudden they had that change of mind. They got red-pilled, and they realized the Democrat Party was so bad. Now they don't think that Trump is so bad. I have one guy that was a total Bernie supporter. I even went to a Bernie supporter thing, and my friends, we went to a parade that was for Hillary, and my Bernie supporters who were outspoken and said, you know, Hillary cheated against Bernie. The Hillary gays beat up on the Bernie gays.
Wow.
They beat them up. One of my friends got a bloody nose.
Oh man.
So you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about socialism or anything. Now those same gays that were supportive of Hillary are now the socialists. Yeah. The ones that beat up, they're still the same Democrats, the evil Democrats that are sociopaths. They don't know what they want. They have no clue. Even our youth, that young black boy, the 10-year-old. I mean, he's been stuck against adults. A woman who said that she was a professor at a university, and this kid was bringing up stuff, and she was there tweeting one of her party horns in his face, going, we don't hear anything you say.
Yeah, because they got nothing. Anybody
would want.
You can't have any discussion with these people because once there's no discussion, once we have no diplomacy, what's left? It's war. So that's the reason why we have diplomacy. Because if we don't have diplomacy, it's war, and that's what they're asking for. They're asking for war. I find it disheartening that there are a lot of people started posting a lot of, let's war Democrats. I hate Democrats. If you're a Democrat, kick me off. Get me off your wall and stuff. And that's the sad thing is we got to the point where we can't even communicate. We can't work with another person. I don't like when Republicans gripe about so-called rhinos or whatever. I'm like, well, at least that Republican is working with the Democrats on something, and wouldn't you want Democrats to work with Republicans?
Well,
I'm like,
the only thing about all that is no, I don't believe in war. I don't believe that we should go through another war.
The reason why we have a multi-party system.
The jokes how we have the guns, they don't. We're going to win a fast war. And that's not the answer.
Well, we already had that. We already had that problem in Virginia because they were talking about the militia. They were already talking about how they were going to bring the National Guard in to take people's guns, and that almost all the counties in Virginia stated that they were declaring their counties sanctuary states or sanctuary counties for the Second Amendment, and that the sheriffs were not going to allow it. And then they were talking about bringing the National Guard in. Now, do you think Donald Trump would allow the National Guard to come in there and take people's guns? I don't think that's going to happen. They're not going to bring the National Guard in. I don't think any National Guard member would actually come in and try to take somebody's guns. Period. No. It's just not going to happen.
No, when it comes, the bottom line is this. Instead of attacking each other, our officials. Republican, the Democrats aren't even thinking straight. Our government officials have got to get down to the bottom of it, because our policing state, and our laws, our constitutional and state laws, are not being abided by. There are laws, and if you break them, it doesn't matter. The things that are going on in our Senate, the impeachment and all this other stuff. If this was normal people, we'd be in jail a long time ago. Time ago. And so there is no reason for this. And until our government officials, until we demand that they say, hey, listen, this is against our constitutional law. I don't care. I don't care about court. There is no court. If I'm going to get arrested, they don't wait till the case and I get arrested. They don't wait until the end of the case. They arrest you and you sit in jail until the case is over. That's the same things that should be about the officials. That should have happened to Schiff when he read that lie on live TV. He should have been arrested right there, put in jail for defamation of character and telling a lie on national TV.
Definitely. I mean, he straight up lied to American people.
Peter, if any of us said it, if we did we'd be
to me, I think it's a form of treason,
and we'd be held criminally.
I mean, it's a form of treason against the president, because you're lying on our own president and undermining our president by lying about something to try to get it removed. I mean, he shouldn't even be. It just doesn't make any sense.
If you look at the military, there are people that have been court-martialed for talking against the president.
Yeah.
Not saying that they were going to shoot him or anything, talking against him. They've been court-martialed and kicked out of the military. So,
and they believe they have their freedom. They believe they have their freedom of speech.
There's a lot of laws in California that are not being an illegal alien in this country is illegal.
Look what they did. Look what they did in New York. They just allowed a bunch of people, a bunch of illegals to go get driver's licenses.
So why do we have to wait with them in here in this country being able to do that and having to wait for to go all the way to the top of to the Superior Court?
It
There's
doesn't make
no
any sense.
reason for it.
We know
We
know they
it's
committed
already
against
the law.
Yeah.
You arrest them, you put them in jail, and deal with them when it goes to court. Or you block the borders and you keep them over there, and you say, "Hey, listen, bud, you know this is it." That's exactly what the wall's for. Yes, some people make it through, but it's better than the wall being rushed by 200,000, and we only catch 20. This way, with the wall. 200,000 rush the wall, and 20 get passed, and we've got it handled. Yep. We can rush them through the system, send them back to Mexico. So those people that don't understand what the wall is all about, it's that. It's easier to send 20 back through our court system than have half of the 200,000 make it over the border or more, because we don't have enough people on the border to stop 200,000 rushing, and we saw it during the time when it first started happening. We saw all these people rushing the border, coming over to the United States, and there was nothing we could do about it because there was nothing stopping them. And if you think that the border wall that there was there before, I've been on that border wall. It is something you don't even need a pole vault.
Well, my friend shows me a picture of our so-called border wall. Or a border or whatever with Canada. It's just a stone. People can just walk across it.
Yeah, it's nothing.
We got nothing between here and Canada. You know, it's like, why are we not protecting our borders, both the southern and the northern borders?
Well, we should be taking care of both sides.
Yeah, I mean, we need a wall on the northern border. And the sad thing is the wall was supposed to have been paid for a long time ago. The wall was supposed to be built during the Barack Obama administration, which he was for the wall then. Everybody was for the wall. It's the same as like they were against the impeachment back then. You know, it's like everything that Donald Trump wants, and he said, all of a sudden they don't want.
Well, it's what we spoke about before, Peter. You know, these people that are placing these Democrats that are getting on the thing saying, "Okay, so where's the border wall?" That's not President Trump's fault.
Yep.
That is all.
I'm actually getting tired. I'm getting tired of people on. I'm getting tired of people on the right complaining. I'm getting tired of people on the right complaining about Donald Trump. Donald Trump hasn't built us the wall yet. He is building the damn wall. I mean, have y'all not paid attention? Have y'all not paid attention? Yeah, have they?
Down there a couple of weeks ago, there is wall going up all the way up and down that coast.
How damn fast do they think something can be built? I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day. We're talking about miles and miles and miles and miles of wall, you know, plus the money. And all Donald Trump's been trying to do is get the damn money for it, and they keep holding it up. And the same thing, it gets held up in a court. You know,
and it doesn't, you know, that money doesn't really matter because the amount of money that they've already put towards the wall that we already have and the manpower to put that up, we have a couple of years. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when the rest comes.
If they want this wall to go up, then they need to get the hell out there.
Because the Democrats or the Republicans or whatever.
I tell them, if they want that damn wall up and they don't want it to stop, they better make sure Donald Trump does get reelected. Because what the hell are you going to get? I don't think we should have Donald Trump anymore because he ain't built the wall yet. Well, how the hell do you expect the wall? Do you expect the wall to come out of a different president?
No, it won't. No,
I mean, you think the Democrats get elected that we're going to have a wall? Hell no.
Yeah, and these people that are so anti-Trump.
We need to be worried that the next Democrat president doesn't tear it down.
A lot more to complain about the next time a Democrat gets into the White House, and they take revenge on what Trump's done. You know, the Republican Party better start thinking smart. You know, we may not be getting it done right now. We may not be getting people locked in jail and all this stuff right now. But the alternative is not what they want.
Yep.
Good talk.
All righty.
And
We'll talk again real soon.
okay, sounds good. Talk to you soon.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And that's been Go Right with Peter Boykin. A little bit longer episode than normal, but there was a lot to talk about, and I'm going to talk a lot regularly with Joel about a lot of things and the future. So stay tuned. Peace. And join the Patreon, folks. Got like their YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification. The Facebook. Check us out on Facebook. Hashtag Go Right. Check me out on Telegram. It's Go Right with Peter Boykin. Share this podcast. And join our Patreon, okay? Join the Patreon. God bless us. Peter Boykin from Go Right. Peter Boykin.
Billions and 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 billions.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
As long as we have pride in our country, confidence in our future, and faith in our God, then America will prevail.